All right, guys, we are recording. I'm so happy to be able to record this because I know so many people are at work right now. I'm going to preface this by saying I don't know if I have like bronchitis or what is going on, but I literally cannot stop coughing. So I just drank 2 cups of tea and took a little bit of like cough medicine or whatever. But if I seem like loopy or completely out of it, that's why. But I wanted to show up here, you guys, tonight and just give you the opportunity to ask me any questions that you have, and then also just tell you some stuff that's been on my heart. So if you're watching this for the first time and have absolutely no clue who I am, my name is Alexa Huffman. I go by Lex, and I'm a double diamond with It Works Global. I've been in the company for like 2 years now. And anyways, I'm so excited. So Bree, I see your question in the comments. We're just going to jump right in. So you said, how do you stay disciplined when you're working from home all day? This is such a good question. And honestly, it took me so long to find a routine and find a system that worked for me, because there were some days where I felt like I was doing so much, but when I went back and looked, like I really wasn't as productive as I thought I was. Or like I would get caught up in doing house stuff and then it's 9 o'clock at night and I haven't done my business yet, you know? So I had to just become exactly what you said, disciplined. And that's something that we're going to talk a lot about tonight. But I created a schedule for myself. So I broke it up into 3 segments. So it doesn't necessarily mean like from this time to this time I'm doing this. Like my life is just too crazy for that. But I know no matter what, every single day I'm going to sit down for at least 3 power hours or 3 sittings, regardless of how long I sit, but at least an hour, and do the stuff on my list. So I have, and I can put this in the chat too, but I have like this picture that I put, or that I like wrote everything out of like what I want to accomplish throughout the day. I'll find it after this and I'll put it in the chat. Hang on, let me write myself a note. Okay. And that helped me a lot. So like I put at the top of the paper, like, okay, this is how many messages I want to get out. This is how many haps I want to get up. This is how many times or for how long I want to interact. Like I would put all that stuff up and then I would split it by 3. So if I wanted to send, or if I wanted to get 15 haps up, I would send like 50 to 100 messages 3 times, right? Or like if I wanted to make sure that I had 25 new mutual friends for 3 sittings, I was going to, until I got blocked on Facebook, like, well, hopefully not until I get blocked, but Facebook has been weird recently. I'll just continue to go through them. So just make yourself a list or like some sort of schedule or something that like re-excites you. I can't remember, I think you were in when we were doing that like old 90-day challenge or whatever. So we would write out like post, and then it would have like 3 circles or 4 circles or whatever. And then you would have like haps and like 10 or 15 circles. And like every time that we did it, we would just put a check mark in it. And at the end of the day, it was almost like, you know, when we used to do those old pushes as like event pages on Facebook, it was like that. But instead of somebody giving you a daily 6 list, I like gave you, okay, this is what you need to do every single day. And you would write it out on a new paper, like with the date, and rewrite it every morning and make sure that all that stuff was, you know, finished. So whatever works for you, but you have to find a system, because without a system, it's kind of like shooting in the dark. You know what I mean? Like you just have no clue where you're going to end up or where your productivity truly lies. That's a really good question. Does that help? You know, it's kind of like a stupid answer, but Steph, do you have any questions? But the other thing is that I put in my Lex's Boss Babes chat, I wanted to get a general consensus as to how you guys were feeling this month. And I was not terribly shocked at the results, but it was interesting to see where you guys landed. So I put who is feeling, and then fired up but feeling alone, so fired up but feeling connected as a team, discouraged and feeling alone, and discouraged but connected with the team. And the majority was fired up but feeling alone. And I wanted to touch on this really quick, because I don't think, honestly, you guys, that that's ever going to go away. I think we just have to learn how to cope with that and how to find ways to not feel alone. Because the reality is that this is your business. This is not my business. This is not your downline's business. This is not whatever. This is your paycheck, your future, your company. Not really, but like your business, you know? And I think that it's because we are isolated, we work at home, or maybe you do work a full-time job and you come home and do this on the side. Like, there's not that person constantly checking in with you. And like, as much as I would love to text every single person on my downline and be able to check in with them every day, it's just not a reality, you guys. That's why we create layered leadership, so that my rubies and above, my emeralds and above, my diamonds and above have eyes. So I have 3 eyes before it hits mine. And that's just simply because, like, number one, that's how the pay structure works and how our charting works. But number two, I would drown myself if I had 2,000 plus people coming to me all day. You know what I mean? Like, I would never be able to work my own business. So that's why I do power hours, so that we all can come together and be on Zooms. And maybe, I don't know, drop a 1 in the chat if you guys would like me to do more stuff like this, where it's coaching calls and pouring into you, because I don't mind doing them at all. In fact, I love doing them. But I don't, like I said, I don't think that that's ever going to go away. And so you have to just find a way to feel connected. And that's why we tell you guys to stay close to the fire. When we say stay close to the fire, that means showing up to events, getting to team bondings, family calls, any Zoom that you are possibly offered the opportunity to get on, take advantage of it. It's not like, I don't know, it's a privilege, you know what I mean? Like, to earn this knowledge or gain this knowledge from people who are above us, and to get information before we do, you know what I mean? So just utilize the things and the tools that we give you to stay connected, because there's a team page, there's all this stuff. And not that your guys' feelings aren't justified by any means, because there are so many times where I feel alone. But the second that I feel alone and I start feeling discouraged, I know the devil will attack. You can always attack a lone sheep in the forest, but you can't attack 4 tigers, five tigers, right? Like, it's going to be more of a fight. So don't allow yourself to be in a susceptible situation like that. The second that you start feeling that way, host a Power 30, or text me and be like, hey, I'm feeling this way, or your upline if I didn't enroll you or whatever. And just be like, hey, I'm feeling super discouraged right now. Come to it not complaining, because the worst is, as a leader, having people come to you all day long just bitching, for lack of better words, right? It's okay to have a 3-minute BMW. That's what I'm here for. But after 3 minutes, we're going to come up with a solution together, because we don't have time to waste. You know what I mean? You can sit and sulk all day long, but it takes just as much energy to execute a plan. So pick your hard. You know what I mean? And then the other one was like feeling so fired up but connected as a team, and discouraged and feeling alone. And the only thing that I can say, sorry guys, I have not talked this much all day. The only thing that I can say is, if you're feeling discouraged and you're feeling alone, you're not taking advantage of your upline. And you're doing yourself a disservice, because we have an open door policy on this team. And there are so many other sideline people out there, if you don't get along with your upline, that can help you or whatever. Like, you know, some personalities just don't mesh, and that's okay. But utilize the people who inspire you, or if you can't go to your enroller, come to me. You know, I'm totally willing to help and to help you get through that time. And it's so normal, like I said, to feel discouraged and to feel alone, but it's a choice ultimately. And you're making a choice to stay isolated versus making a choice to reach up, you know? So I'm always here to help. I just really wanted to touch on that, but I'm so glad that I did that. And I'm so glad that you guys were as candid as you were, because it takes a lot of balls to put in a group chat how you're feeling, you know, like other people see that, and you don't want to seem like you're a negative Nancy, but I just want to like applaud you and say thank you so much for being so honest, because, and I talk about it in some of my other Zooms, but just like, people try to hide behind the feelings and the whatever, because this company and what we do is create content that is so positive, right? And that's where that like imposter syndrome comes in, because you feel like you're putting on this front that you're so positive all the time, and all your content is just like the highlight reel, and here you are at home feeling depressed, right? It's okay to talk about these things. Like, we're all human. We all struggle in our business. We all fall. But you cannot stay down. And my job is for when you go and I see you falling, is to pick you back up. But sometimes there are people in the back that I can't always keep my eyes on, and I don't know you fell. And that's my job as a leader, to make sure that I have eyes on all my downline, and stay communicated. Like, that's why you stay in contact with your leaders. When you get diamond and you have that emerald and ruby leader, you're talking to them every day, every other day, at least a couple times a week, so that you know what is going on with your people, okay? Because it's your job just as much as it's my job to pick them up. It's also your job, when you feel like crap, to tell me so that I can help you. I can't help you if I don't know. Like, help me help you. You know what I mean? And then, hang on, I took a bunch of notes because I was listening to some self-development earlier today, and you guys, I have had such bad migraines. Like I said, some sort of flu, bronchitis or something. But I also know that I just took my IUD out not that long ago, and my hormones are just whack. I put the code in there, so you should see it there. Anyways, and so I really didn't want to do it, but some of the stuff that I heard, I was just so inclined to tell you guys, because it hit me. I don't know why. I don't know what. I think, and I've said this before, but this team has been going through growing pains. We just have in our business, and so many people are just getting hit with life right now. And that's why another reason I love this company is because you do have so much support here, and you are never alone. But again, utilize that support. But oh my gosh, I just have to share some of these quotes with you. So the first was, and this is out of, hang on, let me look it up so I don't butcher it. It's called Chase the Lion by Mark Batterson. And one of the quotes was, "Don't let what you cannot do stop you from doing what you can." And I think so often I limit, we talk about these self-limiting beliefs all the time. I limit my ability, my power, the things that I can accomplish, simply because I'm letting all these things that I can't control, I'm trying to gain control of all the things I can't control. You can only control what you can control. So stop focusing on the chaos and look at what you can control and how you can minimize the destruction. You know what I mean? And I think through these growing pains, we just have to remember, number one, you don't know what you don't know. Ask a lot of questions, okay? And number two, I think the quote speaks for itself. Stop letting what you cannot do stop you from doing what you can. We all have so much ability, and anyone can do this business. And there is no reason why every single one of us should not be at the top of that company. The only thing stopping us from getting there is this. That's it. So another one was, if you want to reach people no one else is reaching, you might have to do something else no one else is doing. And that just slapped me like a brick wall. Definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Growing our network, and this is something that up until about 6 months ago, I didn't realize how crucial growing your network is. If you are posting and messaging the same people, you are going to wait till the day you die for them to sign. You constantly have to be weeding people in, weeding people out. And that's why I suggest printing your friends list, just because it makes that so much easier. So if I've been messaging them and they haven't responded since 6 months ago, that person's getting unfriended and they're getting replaced with someone else. There's no reason that our Facebook accounts should not be maxed at all times. There's no reason. So if you're not, then it's because we're not adding enough people. So that's something that I've really been trying to focus on recently, is growing my network, doing more belly-to-belly conversations, leaving my cards with people. For instance, I have a Poshmark account, and I'll sell some of my old clothes and stuff. And with every purchase that someone sends, I send them a thank you note, a sample of keto coffee, and my business card. So the second they get that, it's not even related. They have no clue I'm with the company. But I'm saying, thank you so much for your purchase. I just wanted to say thank you by giving you a sample of this coffee that I'm absolutely obsessed with. Get creative. You know what I mean? Or Rochelle talked about it the other day, where she was she's not a person who blitzes easily. And I don't either. I'm very outgoing. I have a very red personality. But when somebody asks me what I do, I literally clam and can't say 2 words. It's I'm a 12-year-old boy talking to a girl. I don't know. So what she does is she has good conversation with this person while they're at dinner, like, oh my gosh, I love your hair, or whatever. Start with a compliment. Be talking to them. How long have you been working here? Whatever. Build that rapport. You don't even need to bring up the business. And when you're done and you get your receipt and you're about to leave your business card. If you don't have business cards, get business cards. Leave a business card and write a note on the back saying, hey, Sarah, I just wanted to say thank you so much for your service tonight. I thought that you were absolutely incredible. I have a business from home that I just think you would be incredible at, and it would perfectly coincide with your waitress position. Text me or follow me on Instagram if you want to know more about what I do. And she's been getting a lot more response rate. So every time I'm going out somewhere, if the person is someone that I think would honestly be good at this business, then I'm going to do that. We are missing opportunity by not taking, let me word this differently. You are presented and I am presented with opportunity every single day. It's whether or not you take it. Okay. So be creative. If you're not open to receiving these clues and these hints or these opportunities and you're not going to seize them, then you're stopping yourself from hitting these next levels, right? Like I just said before, if you want to reach people no one else is reaching, you're going to have to do things differently. We've been working social media for 2 years, you guys, and it is still blowing up. But I'm going to be frank, it's been kind of slow for me. So am I going to sit here and still, definition of insanity, keep just trying to pump social media? Yes. But I'm going to also start doing more belly-to-belly stuff and blitzing. I want to do vendor events that I've been talking about for 6 months and haven't done. I want to start doing these things, live try-its, more lives, because you guys, we have to be creative or we're going to get left behind if we're not following the trends. The other thing that I'm challenging myself to do is this week I want to make a TikTok account. TikTok is huge and it is completely unsaturated. The algorithms are like non-existent compared to Facebook and Instagram. There's no reason why we shouldn't be utilizing these other platforms. LinkedIn. I've been hearing so much about LinkedIn and I've created an account. Here's what I'll tell you as I'm telling you these things. Branch out, get these other networks. Like I now have Twitter. I never used to have a Twitter, okay? Do what works. Stay with Facebook and Instagram for your business. But these other platforms, people need to be able to see you on. Okay. Anyways, so do things that other people aren't doing. If what you're doing right now isn't reaping you the reward that you want, go ask what you can be doing more of. Go send more messages. Get in front of people. Challenge yourself. I know like a lot of us live locally. Go downtown Oregon City and just start talking to people. Get a coffee and sit outside. And when people walk by, have a cute dog, be like, oh my God, your dog is so cute. Can I pet it? Whether you like dogs or not. Because you know what? This person you might build a great relationship with because little do you know they actually work at the cafe down the street that is your favorite restaurant. Now you have rapport with them and they're going to follow you on social, and in 6 months, 2 months, whatever, they're going to join you. People are always going to join you or they're going to block you, and it's going to be one or the other. So give them the opportunity to do one or the other, not nothing. Grant Cardone says 80 to 90% of the time, people don't ask for the sale. We don't ask to follow people on social media. How many cool people have you met and walked away? You just missed an opportunity. I've done it 1,000 times. I had an amazing waitress and I let it slip by. She would have killed it. And guess what? Somebody else is probably going to sign her one day. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, you guys. I am like trying my hardest. Okay. The other thing that he said was be a trendsetter. Anything less is laziness. And for me, that goes back to doing new things. Like when someone thinks of you, or I guess I'll put it in my words, when someone thinks of me, I don't want them to think it works off the bat. I want them to think weight loss, longer hair, financial freedom, freedom of time, stay-at-home mom. Like, who do you want to be known by and build your legacy? Stop trying to shove it works down people's throat. Share the dream because of what it's legitimately done or doing for you. Share the products because you genuinely love them. And as much as you're about to tell people about your favorite restaurant, you're going to tell them about the coffee too. or whatever. So be a trendsetter. What is setting you apart from other people, you guys? We're a growing company, and there's growing new distributors every single day. And we have to be more creative and work harder if we're going to make ourselves known. The other thing was what battlefield are you willing to die on? Are you willing to do whatever it takes? Because he was talking about a veteran. And these people die for our country. You know that when you sign up to be in the Army or to be in the military or to be in the Navy SEALs, like whatever, that you're basically signing your life away, right? Why are we not doing the same thing with this business? This is the lifeline to our future. This is our business and our paycheck. This is what supports our children. This is what puts a roof over our heads. This is what puts gas in the tank. This is what puts food on the table. Why are we treating this anything less than life or death? And I know that that's an extreme, but I'm being serious. Like, what is this really? What is success in these things that you have on your dream board and all these things that you want? What is that worth for you? What battlefield are you on? Are you willing to die for it? I guarantee you, if this business is truly putting food on the table for you and your kids like it is for mine, every single day I wake up knowing if I don't give 100% in my business, I am looking at my daughter in the face telling her that she doesn't get food today because mommy didn't work hard enough. Are you joking? Next, embrace change. The definition of insanity will blind you. It goes back to what I was just talking about earlier. We have to do things differently. We have to be innovative. We make the future happen, not the other way around. The future may be predetermined, but you ultimately decide your destiny, you guys. And the butterfly effect is so huge. So when you're on these highs, that's why we tell you to keep that momentum. Like when you're signing a bunch, that shouldn't be when your foot lets off the gas and you stop sending messages. That's when you triple your messages. Because what you're focused on is what you will attract. And you have to decide to make your future happen. Are you going to let it just slap you in the face continually? Or are we going to take life balls? Are we going to take life by the balls and our business and do this? Carrie Young said it best. And oh my God, we talk about this quote. I can't even tell you how many times last year at conference, but it is so true. I asked her like what one advice or one tip that she had for us. And she said, just get it done. And it really made me think of her when he said that. We make the future happen, not the other way around, because it's true. Our actions and our mindset and our belief is where we're going to land. At critical junctures, jump the curb and reinvent yourself. So when shit gets tough and you feel like you're not signing and you feel stuck and you feel like you're not promoting, you need to jump the curb, right? You're either not working, you have a poor mindset, the belief isn't there, or if you have all three of those things, then you are doing the definition of insanity. You're doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result, and that does not work. That's not how the system works. It's not how life works. Same kind of thing with the battlefield. Are you willing to jump ship if it means we all go together and ultimately in the end it's going to bring a better result? Or would you rather stay on the boat because it's safer? You know what I mean? And he said, what do you need to start doing today? What do you need to stop doing today? Don't be overwhelmed. Focus on the first step. And I'm not going to read this next part yet. So I want to break that down a little bit. What do you need to start doing today? And what do you need to stop doing today? For me, I need to stop procrastinating. I need to stop watching so much TV. I need to stop sleeping in too late. I need to stop being lazy. I need to start doing my laundry every day. I need to start working out every day. I need to be healthier. Write those things down, because then he said, don't be overwhelmed. Focus on the first step. So you can kind of put those together, like things that I should stop doing and things that I should start doing kind of go hand in hand, right? Like, so you want to start replacing them. So if you want to stop sleeping in so late, you want to start setting your alarm earlier and implementing the 5-second rule. If you want to sign more, you need to stop watching so much TV and send more messages. or whatever it is, you know what I mean? So use the things that you want to start doing and the things you want to stop doing to coincide with each other and replace one bad habit with one good habit, right? So every time you brush your teeth, you're going to look at your dream board. Why? Because you want to look at your dream board, but you hate brushing your teeth. Or you don't look at your dream board, but you always brush your teeth, right? So force yourself to get into those habits. The next thing that he said, like, shook me. He goes, dreams with no plan is a wish list, not an execution. We can sit there all day long and look at our dream boards, have this huge vision of where we want to go, but ultimately, you guys, it's just one big wish list. And the only thing that's going to make those things come true is hard work, belief, and a good mindset. And if one of those is out of the mix, we're not going to go anywhere, right? And it's a constant growth. Don't expect this. The other thing that he said too is don't expect this to happen overnight. Stop putting so much pressure on yourself. One foot in front of the other. What do you need to start doing? What do you need to stop doing? Start making an execution instead of just wishing. We always say this is network marketing, not net wish marketing, right? It's totally cool to have all these big dreams, and we can absolutely accomplish them with this vehicle that the business provides us with. But unless we do something with the vehicle we're provided with, we're going to stay in our driveway. Work ethic and prayer ethic equals one step closer to your dreams every day. So this goes back to what I was just saying. You have to have the belief, and Sherry Lynn Alcala says it on the Costa Rica recap Zoom. Or no, I want to say it was Claire who was asking Sherry Lynn, because she said, I asked Sherry Lynn, like, what she does. I can't even remember what her question was in a certain given situation, like if you're feeling discouraged or whatever. And her answer was I just asked for more faith. And I catch myself so often feeling like I can control everything. And just like we talked about earlier, you can control only a certain things, and that's what you have to focus on, not the things that you can't control. But when you have the work ethic and you also have the belief and you release the things that you can't control, good shit happens. And it's so much easier said than done. I know that. Trust me. Like, I work on it every single day. But that also, when he said, like, stop putting so much pressure on yourself and put one foot in front of the other, I'm horrible about that. My brain is like a bowl of spaghetti, and putting one foot in front of the other is like telling a completely plastered person to do a handstand perfectly and walk on their hands in a straight line. Like, it just doesn't happen for me. So I'm forcing myself to ask for more faith. Ask for more faith in this business. Ask for more faith in myself. Ask for more faith in the universe. Ask for more faith in all things. But the work has to back it up. Will Smith says he will not be outworked. No talent can compare with hard work. He was interviewed and was asked if he was saying if it was between me and some random person who had all the talent, he was a marathon runner, all the tools in the world to succeed and to win this race. They were going to do like a 10-hour race or something on the treadmill. I'm just using this as an example. This is so butchering it. Just like, don't quote me on this. But essentially, this is what he was saying. And he said, I don't care how much talent somebody has. I don't care how much they've prepared. I don't care about anything other than I know I will die on that treadmill before I give up. And it goes back to this battlefield thing. What are you willing to die for? Is this life or death for you? For me, it is. I don't know about you guys, but like, without this business, I would not be in a good headspace. My finances would be horrible. I would have never been able to have my daughter the way that I did, or the house that we do. You know what I mean? So how hard are you willing to work? Are you willing to die on that treadmill, or are you going to let the person with more skill than you win? Sorry, I'm like dying. He also said, games aren't won on game day. They're won in the workout room. And I related that to our business so much as far as like ranks, right? You don't win and you don't make it when you hit a certain rank. You make it and your business flourishes, and so will your bank account when you are focused on what you're doing in the workout room. You know what I mean? Who is the hardest worker in the room? Do you want to be that person? I don't know why that just like stuck out to me so much. Games aren't won on game day. Like, you don't just make it. And I like laugh. I'm laughing at myself, like, because that was my thought process. Is like, when I get Ambassador 2.0, like, I freaking made it, baby. Like, you know, that's like 0.3% of the company. But ultimately, I know for a fact, and I can say in the bottom of my heart, that I may not be perfect, and I may not have all the skills that some of the people at the top of this company do, but man, I will work harder than anybody else. And I will go like balls to the wall with anyone who's willing to match me. You know what I mean? So it's just forcing yourself to have that mindset. And then he said, if you're discouraged, zoom out. You can't dream big. You need to think long. So let me repeat that. If you're discouraged, zoom out. You can't dream big. You need to think long. And he also said, oh, yeah, this is the next thing. So kind of like, I'm so sorry, you guys, rolls into the next thing that he said. And he said, we overestimate what we can accomplish in a year or two, but we underestimate what we can accomplish with the universe on our side in a few decades. So that's what he means when he says zoom out. Look at the next couple decades instead of focusing on the next year or two, right? Oh, and this, I'm going to save that for last, I think, actually. The other thing is it made me think of Jade Hooper as I was reading this whole chapter, and I said it a little bit earlier, but it was her perspective on no and not right now that changed things for me, because I've always known, and we tell you guys, top leaders, you hear it on every Zoom, that when somebody tells you no, that it's a not right now. And they'll eventually come back, right? But she said basically, like, as a mom, when you ask your kids if they're hungry and they say no, you know better that doesn't mean that your kid's never going to want to eat again. That means that your kid is not hungry right this second, and when you ask again in an hour, they're probably going to say they're starving, right? Like, drop a 1 if you feel that, even if it's not a kid, like your dog, whatever. That, even you, right? So I'm so bad about zooming out because I'm such an instant gratification person, and I want things right now, and I'm so focused on this next year or two because things feel really rough for me right now. Like I said, this team even is going through growing pains in their business and in their life, and this is just something that we all have to go through together. But when you understand that not just the answers from specific people, but even for yourself, you weren't hungry right then, but you're hungry now. Why are you focused on the fact that you didn't get the rank that you wanted to last month? You weren't hungry enough. That's all it comes down to. This month, next month, this new year, get hungry. People, even if it's a pack of wolves, those who are stronger, aka work harder, are going to eat first. Do you want to eat first or do you want to eat last? Are you going to be hungry now or are you going to be hungry later? It's a decision. I'm choosing to be the hungriest that I've ever been the rest of this month to propel myself into 2020. I'm not even focused on my enrollments. I would be bummed if I didn't complete my steps to success because that is something that I want to triple every single month. But I am so not even focused on anything except for growing my potential list, growing my network, pouring into my team, working as hard as I freaking can, and building that belief. Because with all the things going on in my life right now, it would be really easy for me to just give up on myself, on life, on my business. But guess what? That's not reality. We have other people watching us. You never know when someone is being impacted by your story. Your children are watching you. Your family is watching you. So what are you going to do with it? Be hungry or don't eat. It's kind of like when they say, like, get on the horse or get off. So the last thing that I wanted to leave you with before, I'm going to text Nat really quick, was, oh, shoot. Oh, it just got deleted. Okay. So the last thing that I wanted to leave you with, third try is a charm. He said, people can hire you, people can fire you, but the universe or God called you. Let me say that again. People can hire you, people can fire you. They are not the ones who called you. Someone can hire or fire you. They did not call you. That shook me literally to the core. I have goosebumps just saying it again. No matter what happens, you guys, this is your business. I want to make that super freaking clear. Your destiny, your everything that you want out of this is so possible, and all of you are so worthy, but you're allowing the people who hired you, the people who fired you, aka the people around you in your life, in this business or not, are not the people who called you to this. You were called by your God, whatever that is for you, to be in this company, whether you like it or not. And you can either use that to your advantage or you can use that to your disadvantage. So are you going to let these outside sources determine what is coming for you, or are you going to take control of your business? It's not your downline's fault. It's not your upline's fault. It's not your sideline's fault. We just have to improve. And I want to just say, you guys, like I said, this is not an overnight process. Becoming a leader in this company, becoming a mass enroller, if that's a goal that you have, becoming, whatever you want to achieve is so possible, but you have to stop letting other factors play into your business, right? Okay, so Nat is going to, I'm going to mute myself, thank God, because my voice is like, ugh. Nat is going to share what she learned on the Zoom with Cheyenne. I think some of you other guys were on there too, so if you have anything after she's done to add that you want, great. But I want to give her the opportunity to let us know what she learned, and I'm super glad that this is recorded so that we have record of this. So I'm going to mute myself. Nat, go ahead and unmute you.
Okay, so y'all forgive me because normally I have time to rewrite my already written notes into format that I can figure out. How I just scribbled everything down, because trust me when I say there are boxes and squares and X's and LMAO. Anyways, okay, so Cheyenne was nice enough to take like 40 minutes out of her day to come on and talk to some of us that went to try it, and we want a coaching call with her, and bless up because she's just the cutest thing in the world. So there were a couple questions that they asked her. And one of them was, what are her non-negotiables? So what does she do every single day for her business? And sorry, y'all, I literally just walked in the door from work, so I have no idea, honestly, if we talked about this already. But anyway, her non-negotiables specifically are, come January 1st, she's restarting her journaling Zooms every day. And so she does them every day, 9 a.m. her time, which I will have to figure out what time that is for us. I have no idea. And then also she does personal development. The first thing she does is she grabs her phone, she reads a book, she reads devotionals, she listens to, before messaging anybody, before talking to anybody, replying, or even saying good morning or anything to anybody. This is the first thing she does. She says you always want to start on the right side of the day. Otherwise your struggles and your goals will not be, or your struggles will take over and your goals will not be achieved. So like I said, she writes out what her goals are. She makes sure she knows all her struggles. She reads her devotionals, and she actually used the word growing faith. And if any of y'all were listening to Rochelle's, what was it the other day? I think it was like a Zoom she had. Gosh, my days are all running together. She said her word for 2020 is faith. So I think that's like a huge thing to pay attention to, is that word is going to come up so much. So I think that's kind of everybody's word. Anyway, so she said get stuff done but still live your life. She does coaching calls, charts. Hold on, babe. Sorry, y'all. Here comes my child complaining. She completes her six list seriously every single day. Not actually, but that's what she says, like, obviously is her goal. And then she says a lot of the stuff that she does focuses on for her business is interacting. And she comments on every single picture she comes across on Instagram. And that's just because this person will start seeing her name. She likes every single picture. She says they see my name and that creates them to go to her profile, which is exactly what you want them to do. And then she says it also helps with messaging because you don't message for a reply. You message for somebody to click on your name and be like, who the hell is this person? And go to your page and what you're working for on your page for it to look like professional and nice and everything. That's exactly why you message people. Okay, your foot looks amazing. Just give me 10 minutes. Sorry. Literally showing, like, he's putting his foot in my face. Anyways, so then she says, you want to follow people based on what the things that you like. So if you have kids, obviously you can bond with people over kids. If you're married, you can bond with people about marriage. She says a lot of people on her team are like animal fiends. So like, obviously you're not going to want to talk to a mom and be like, oh my God, I have a pet lizard. Like, how's your 5 kids? She just says that does not match. So find somebody with similar interests. And then she says, find your word and talk about it all the time. And that's exactly what I'm saying. Faith is coming up so much for everybody. I think it's such a huge word. And for 2020, it's going to be like crazy. And then she says another thing she talks about is obviously talking to her team every single day, encouraging people, figuring out who needs her the most and, paying attention to them during the day. And she said, one thing she really wants to focus on, or like if you had to focus on something, is be prepared. Know your directions, working, know who your workers are, know how to chart. If your workers don't know how to chart, help them. Put all of your ducks in a row for the rest of the month, because she said you don't do your busy work later. Do last minute cleaning right now. That's what she called it, was last minute cleaning. And then she said there's really no secret sauce to anything, but the one thing that is like specific to your business that you should be doing is having consistency. She said consistency is huge, and I know we talk about that all the time. We've talked about it so many times, but really there is no sauce to the business. It's just how you do your business. You need to do it every day in order for people to pay attention to you. So consistency is huge. And then she said time is also huge. You don't have to do little increments, or she said you don't have to do power hours. You don't have to do power 30s, whatever. If you make time for your business, you will succeed. She said, let's see, time is huge. Do what you want to do. To do what you want. Oh, no, hold on. Sorry. This is what I'm saying. I'm totally messed up because I have no idea what I wrote. I literally just swapped a bunch of things down. I think I was trying to say, I briefly remember her exact words. It was something like, to do what you do to get to Ruby is exactly what you do to get to president or presidential. It just takes time. So time and consistency are the two things she said is the sauce. Let's see. Oh, sorry. Am I like screaming in your guys' ears? Sorry. Anyway, so what else does it say? Oh, another question was, oh God, see, I have no idea what I wrote. Messaging. Okay. So she was saying, somebody asked, do you message people or do you wait for people to come to you? And she said, people only think of themselves as annoying. Nobody truly finds you annoying. She says, get yourself into their inbox, because if you get yourself into their inbox, that's what leads them to your page. She said, you don't message to get a response. I know I said that. If you want them, or you want them on your profile is your goal. So you message them for them to figure out who you are. That way, later on, when you message them again, they'll be like, oh, I have a relationship with this person. She comments on all my photos all the time, or like, I know her, or whatever it is. And then she says, if you're not messaging, you're selfish. And the reason for that is because people deserve to hear this opportunity. People deserve to hear what your products do for you and your customers, and people deserve that. So she said, messaging is huge, because if not, you're selfish. People asked her, who do you message? Or what do you message? And she said she only messages for LCs. And I know she's mentioned that before, but she only messages for LCs. And the reason for that is because if somebody's like, oh my God, I want to try their cleanse, but it's too expensive for me, then she offers the opportunity and tells them what the opportunity did for her. And so that person is deserving to hear of that because they're interested in the product and because they don't have the money to try it. So she's offering to help them. She said, don't message people that don't follow you back, because if you say something like, oh, I'm following you on social, they're like, no, you're not. Or like, hey, I saw your page and blah, blah. They're like, what, how, you followed me like 6 minutes ago. So she said she only follows people that follow her and that she follows. Facebook, she mainly uses for haps. She doesn't really do a lot outside of posting and haps on Facebook. She does most of her work off IG, which is Instagram. She said, do what makes you comfortable, but get out of your comfort zone. So you never really know until you step out of your comfort zone. So if you're not comfortable messaging people, or you're not comfortable, asking for help, what to message or whatever, you have to step out of that bubble, or you have to get out of that mentality, or you're not going to go nowhere. It's not going to work for you. Then people asked about haps, and she said she uses both Instagram and Facebook again. Instagram, she usually starts a conversation about her giveaways. So she'll message saying, hey, I saw you like this photo or whatever. She said she only messages people from her stories. So anybody that watches her stories, she'll message them about her giveaway and then gives them a graphic. I think a lot of us use graphics, and if you don't know how to make one, you can always ask. She messages them a graphic and has them tag them in the story, which is the graphic, whatever, or follow them back. On Facebook, she always posts about her giveaway, any kind of free product, and you're desperate. The most sulking voice ever. All she said was, hey, just checking in to see if this is a better time. Or, hey, I'm putting in some orders right now. Want me to throw yours in? Okay, I was like, wait, what? And then she said, or you can, if somebody's like super weird about giving you their information, which some people are, they're not comfortable at all, and that's totally fine. She said, create a shopping cart and send the link. Yeah, don't overthink it. Like, it's so super easy. And if you guys, because another thing she said, this was later on, but where did it go? Another thing she said, her and Miranda were like, wording makes a difference. If you say, oh, well, it's like $99 to join, I know that's kind of expensive, but it's worth it. Like, if you say something like that, it's not going to work for you. If you say something like, oh my gosh, girl, it's only $99 to join, you get $150 worth of product, and you get $100 shopping spree, I'm going to help you get that. Like, if you're excited about it, people get excited about it. And personally, I just went through this whole recognition thing earlier, where I remembered that everything is in the wording. And once that was said to me, it was literally like, boom, I needed that again. And then somebody asked her how she makes her posts. She always posts a picture of herself. She never posts just a picture of a product. She said the reason for that is because it just looks spammy. If it is a picture of the product, it has to be like super cute, well thought out, like super amazing picture of that product specifically. But she says mainly she does with her and the product. And then, of course, she said, oh, so somebody asked, how do you stay consistent? And she said, consistency is the decision. And I was like, I was literally shook when she said that. And I was like, I didn't ever think of it like that. Consistency is the decision. Like, you become consistent because you tell yourself to, you make yourself. And then she said, get your habits right. And I was just like, what the hell? I was like, yo, I just got off a 12-hour shift and I am like, anyways, she said consistency also follows along with time management. So you want to be sure, like, for herself, she does 5, 10, 15-minute increments of work. And then she'll like go throughout her day. She'll stop again. She'll do 5, 10, 15 increments of work. So like, she's not just forcing herself to do 30 minutes or an hour, not 100 hours. Geez, that would be crazy. Straight of work. One second, babe. Okay, 1 second. I'll be there in a minute. She said, don't set boundaries for yourself. Go the places you want to go. Don't make yourself say, oh, I can only go to Emerald and I'm good there at Emerald. No, you want to go phew, past emerald. Like that one was like, I was like, yeah, that's totally right. Because here I am like, okay, I'm ruby. I'm great. And then I'm like, wait, why do I want to be ruby? I don't want to go. But anyways, she said, go at your pace. And she gets everything done before bed. She makes sure she has a story. She has posts. She's been talking to people. She's been sending her messages. Even if bed is 3 a.m., great. She's got to finish everything before then. And layered leadership for her is huge because obviously she has a giant downline. And I know for us, a lot of us are just learning layer leadership. So we're all kind of like getting that together. Let's see here. She says, oh, this literally hit me because I had a conversation with my team about this today, but she said, if somebody wants this, you won't stay on them. They will stay on you for questions, for help, for anything. And that was, I literally was like, okay, I'm done. Put me in the ER, heart attack. Like I was like, this is crazy. That just, but all of that is kind of like the gist of what she said. She gave some devotional information, like what she reads is 100 Days to Brave and Jesus Calling. She says vision board and dream board. She talked a little bit about hers. Obviously those are huge for us to do. And let's see here. What about this? So she said self-development. Oh, she said this about self-development. If you're reading a book and you're not like super into it, you don't need it at that season of your life. And I was like, oh, that's a whole other way to look at it. You don't need it at that season of your life. She said, find what you lack and find a book that focuses on that. And I was just like, what the hell? Like, I'm literally going to die this Zoom. Like, help me. And then she says, persevere and don't give up. When people make money, sometimes they change. Everything and everyone goes through different things. Okay, you're going to have to tell JJ he's going to have to wait, and I'm on a phone call. Tell him just give me 5 minutes, okay?
Well, he
Thank
can't.
you. Oh, well, I don't care. Please go tell him. Thank you.
He doesn't want to come if you don't want to come.
Okay, anything. I mean, sorry, guys, I'm such a mess. Literally, Mom. Okay. She said, everything and everyone, goes through things every 6 months. You just have to keep your head straight. So with your self-development, like that is going to keep your head straight. And I know like previously Lex and I had this huge conversation about the whole 6 months thing, because boom, it happened to her and then it happened to me. And then it was like, this was like a couple months ago, but we were both just like shook when she first initially said that. And I think for me to be reminded that everybody does go through things, because she was talking about how one of her DTs just had a miscarriage, and then that miscarriage led into like something else happened in that family, and then another friend passed, and then her aunt got cancer, and like it was hard for her. She had a really hard month, and she said everybody goes through things, but that's where your habits and your consistency and everything about that, like you wanting more for yourself, comes into play. Everything happens to people, but you have to remember to do your thing. You just have to do it. She said, always remember to be thankful, handle it for your business and for your life. She said she learned most about her business and herself when she was at rock bottom. And I think that's huge. I think to like know who you are or realize who you are when you're at your worst is like a huge thing for anybody. She said, trust the process and wait for you, because you will get there. And this was huge for me. She said, instead of changing something, so if you figure out something you don't like about yourself and you're like, oh, I have to change that, she said, find the lesson in it. And I was just like, what the hell? Like, oh my God. Just said, find the lesson in that. Don't change it, but find the lesson in it. Just like literally simple as that. And people asked, how and what do you do when one of your top leaders leaves? She said she used to take it personal when people left, and she became like really, really good friends with all of her DTs. And she said she stopped. Actually, I don't know what that means. I don't even know what I wrote there. But hold on. Oh, she said people who come in later are the people who are going to be your people. And she said some people join for this amount of time and some people join for forever amount of time. So she said it just happens. You have to not take it personally. You have to work on your self-development, and you just have to remember why you're doing it specifically, because only you can do your business for yourself. Otherwise, I think that's all my chicken scratch. I don't know. Oh, and they also talked about how super important it was to get to conference, you guys. Like Miranda said, charge it to the credit card, borrow some money, sell some shoes. I don't know, do whatever you got to do, but get yourself to conference because your life will change. Your business will change. Everything will change. But I think that's about everything that my chicken scratch says. Bree, do you have anything to add?
That was so good. I don't know if anybody has anything else to add, but I wanted to say a couple things that you said that really stood out to me. One of them was I wanted to touch on the preloaded cart. So good. You can only do it with people in the US though, so just make sure you know where people live. And I only say that because I have a lot of international people on my page. But such a good option, especially if people don't want you to do their information. Like I do that all the time. Excitement creates excitement. That was a quote that I really wanted you guys to hear that she said. Like when you're excited, your downline is excited, your new potentials are excited, your customers are excited. Like we always say, you lead your team from the front, but it's the same in all areas. Like whatever your attitude is what you're going to attract, even if the people are already signed with you. Your team feels that. The other thing was 100 Days to Brave. Highly recommend it. I wanted to touch on too, you said you never know, you said it differently, but basically you never know what someone else is going through. And it's so true, you guys. I think so often we get stuck in team this, team that, distributor, all these roles that we have. But at the end of the day, we're all people and we all screw up. And when you decide to take your failures and learn from them instead of taking your failures and letting them affect your suit or your pursuit the next day, you know what I mean? Like when we all feel discouraged, you have two choices. You can either work harder or you can give up. And I just think that like knowing that in yourself and also knowing what other people are going through, like I know the majority of the time, like who on this team is sick, who's having a baby, whose family died, like all these different things. And you have to have that compassionate side of you, but also like, you know, you're a good leader and all these things, but you have to care about what people are going through. And you also never know. And then the other thing that I wanted to say was when you were talking about people leaving the business, you guys, you have to pray people in and pray people out. And I've heard that a couple times, but people are going to, like Nat was saying, come in for a specific period of time. And I heard in a leader shift, and I've implemented this a lot in my actual like friendships because I've had a lot of change in friendships over the last couple years. But he was basically like every single person that you come in contact with, you have a God-given contract with. So contracts sometimes end after a week. Contracts sometimes end after 10 years. Contracts sometimes end after 1 year. Everybody has a different timeline and when that contract ends. But if you go into it knowing that this might not be a forever relationship, and that's okay, whether that's with a customer, a distributor, a friend, parents, like I don't know what it is for you, but just know that you have to pray them into your business and you have to pray them out, because otherwise you will destroy yourself if you focus on the people who leave this business. I can't tell you, you guys, I have over like 1,500 distributors on my downline total, and I have 50 to 60 people who are legitimately working, to put it into perspective. And I don't care, and that's not a thing that I focus on. That's not something that I talk about. That's not something that I'm discouraged about. I have 50 people on my downline who are working. That's incredible. You know what I mean? So give yourself credit. Even if you don't have anyone on your downline working, you guys, no offense to anyone on my team who was with me during that time frame, but I brought myself to diamond. My team and all of you guys are going to help me go farther than that. I can't go, I don't want to say I can't, but it would be very, 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 very difficult for me to go double, triple, prez without you guys. I need you. You don't need anybody for diamond. It'd be nice, but you can get yourself there without anybody else working. So I just want you to know that, like, don't beat yourself up over the people who come in and come out, because there's going to be 1,000 people who join this business and never do a single thing. Or they're going to, like, you guys, I've had people on my team even go diamond, emerald, whatever. And that's how I went double, and they leave the company. Does that mean that I'm all upset and hot and bothered and quit my business? No. Thank you, next. Let's fill that spot. I got another box to fill, baby. You know what I mean? And if that's your thought process, then you're going to start attracting those people who have a like-minded mindset. You're going to attract the distributors you want to attract because you're being a good distributor, right? Yeah, Bree, go ahead. Please unmute yourself.
Okay, so Nat, maybe I'll put my mic on and then you can hear me. Nat pretty much said everything, but someone asked Shey, like, what you say to someone who says they can't afford to be a DT. And she basically just said, tell me when you find the money. And, like, not argue with them or, like, try and persuade them to get in. Just, like, tell me when you find the money.
That's so good. And we always say, too, like, if you have to convince somebody to join, you're going to have to convince them to work. And I've watched that over the last 2 years of my business. Like, the people who were easiest to sign, aka the majority of you people on this call, are those who are working. The people who I had to rip teeth to get to join are the people who signed up and I never heard back from again. You know what I mean? So Connor said something the other day and it cracked me up, but it was so true. He goes, life and relationships are kind of like farts. If you have to force it, it's probably shit. It was so funny, but it was so true. Like, how true is that? If you have to force something, it's probably not going to work. That's just reality. Shit's gonna hit the fan, most literally, right? Like, it's just so true. Does anybody else have anything else to add before I quit talking about disgusting things? It was true. Anybody? Any other questions? Now's the time to ask. Oh my God, that was so good, you guys. Thank you for sharing that. No? All right, I'm going to stop the recording.